take a picture.
And then maybe we'll hear.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm actually in
Yeah, North Central Washington.
Yeah.
No one
So-
On the Colville Indian Reservation.
her and Memo. And so we came to Mary, my sister Mary. You've seen her before. But wanted to share this moment and introduce you to my beautiful family.
Thank you.
I love them very much.
I just want to share that I'm a follower and subscriber of my sister too, because I learn a lot from her. And she's helped me a lot because I'm doing an overhaul landscaping. And my sister Mary Lou too. They both helped me a lot with some brilliant
hell are you
ideas
talking
to
to?
incorporate into the.
Pardon?
I'm talking to my YouTube audience.
Love ya.
And this is my husband.
He's really funny.
I got no feet. Send money.
Is amputated. Both
Yeah.
legs.
He was serious about that.
Below the knees. And fingers in
Also,
both
they got
hands.
them on fingers.
But he's
They couldn't find the brain.
but you know what? He has got the best sense of humor ever.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
And
Yeah.
so
And
yeah.
is a
We
joy
have a
to be
fun
around
and
with.
full life, me and him, because we live so far from my family. So it's been
Purposely.
a treasure that my sister Mary Lou, my sister
oops.
Juanita came to visit us
yeah.
and enrich our lives. Not to tweak the video. You can live a fulfilling life. You just got to know that the spirit, the person is there. They're not all about just legs. Although they are nice to look
And then you
at.
have to put up with that.
She pays
But
me
yeah,
money
we
to
dance,
do
we do
that.
everything together. We just do it differently. You just learn to do things differently. Like my sister's so good at doing with her landscaping. She always is amazing in recreating. I mean, like I've known her all my life, right? Because she's my sister. And she's always created and recreated and in amazing, beautiful ways. But they're always unique and they're always different. So I'm really excited to see what she
Why'd
does
you
in her
stop
new
holding
home.
me?
But I want to
Well, because
I
you
want to
get
take
pressure.
a couple
You gotta
minutes
let it
before I
go.
leave because she's building some beautiful garden beds and she's getting some help from this guy named Marcus, but she's actually the creator and designer of things and he was just showing me
Never
some
thought
of
myself
her
like that.
because I was admiring some of her raised containers, and so I want to kind of take you quickly while I'm here to show you what she's been up to and some projects she's doing. So what I wanted to show you was her beautiful garden and what she's been doing. And she's been building like this kind of raised gardens, but she's got these walls that she put in. I just absolutely love that. I think I'm going to steal that idea because it's just so beautiful and so peace. It just feels like serene and peaceful, especially with her Buddhas over here. It just looks like a very peaceful retreat. And so anyway, it's got some rose bushes here. Then she has some lamb's ear, some peonies here that they kind of transplanted themselves. And that the first flush of blooms were like a deep red. And then the second flush of blooms became these red ones. If you've heard of this happening, let me know in the comments below because I'm not aware of that happening, but I'm not familiar with peonies. I'm going to be, hopefully, get myself very familiar with them because I just think they're the most beautiful flower. Then she's got some older rose bushes here. I believe this one's at least looks like a China rose, but I'm not really sure. But it's really interesting to see the color of the foliage because it's not a chartreuse, but it's a light colored foliage. New to me. Then she has a lot of irises here, but I just kind of wanted to show you a little bit here, and hopefully she'll come out and kind of guide me. But she's now starting to build over here around this garden bed. She has some lavender. I don't believe they're Shasta daisies. Let's see what kind of daisies these are. Let's see, what are these? Pot mums. That's what they say they are. They are in a zone 6. She's got some lilies. Looks like she's going to get ready to pot. Some more mums. And more lilies here. A lot of lavender. She's got some peabies over here. And then she's going to be doing some forget-me-nots over here with some Lithodoria in between. But look at this. Isn't this just looking gorgeous? And I love the fact that she intermingled with rocks in between. I just absolutely love that combination. And then on this side, she added a wall garden to raise this area. This is a lot of lavender that she grew. She harvested a lot of lavender and made oils out of it, her and her husband. And yeah, this is just gorgeous. So this is something that can easily be done on a curbside. This is even great for out in the country as well, for like the outskirts of your property. This is Mima. I think that's her name. This is Marcus.
Yes.
He's the one who is helping my sister with all this creativity.
Yeah.
And he was just telling me about this box, about how they were designing it. And my sister said, I don't want sharp corners. And it turned out beautiful.
It kind of follows the line of the house on both sides, too. So this side of the house kind of follows right into the bed, and then the other side of the house follows into that side of the bed. So
oh, yeah. I didn't even think of that. So that's perfect.
Well.
Yeah. But yeah, she's got some apple trees that they harvest, crab apples, and I think a variety of apples. I'll have to have her go over these. Oh, this one's the plum tree.
Yeah, it's already,
okay. Oh, yeah, it does.
There's tons of little plums all over it. I mean, every branch has probably 10 or 20.
Yeah, I
plums.
see that now. I was thinking it was that tree over there, but it's not. That looks like a maple, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's some sort of dwarf maple. And then this one right here in front, I think is a golden currant. So these little tiny things.
Oh, golden
will make
currants.
Little currants.
Oh, okay. So
like a
as you can,
yellow, a smaller yellow fruit.
for like jams and stuff.
Yeah. I think they taste kind of like apricots or plums or something like that. Yeah, so.
I know that she was talking about that they're like used for, at least the crab apples, for like jellies for sweetening.
Yeah, and I think the crab apples
like
also you can like
the
can
pectin
them.
or what is it that the?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think pectin is something that's in them that makes them good for jams and jellies.
Okay.
I know they're also good for, or I think they're good for canning because they're a little stiffer of an apple, so they last a little longer in cans. And I forget what this one is, but this is something else too. This is like it might be a cherry tree or some other fruit. It's a currant, the plum. Those are apples over there, and then.
Do you know what type of apples those are?
I don't know. I think it is a couple. I think one of them is crab apple, and then, I mean, they look a little different, don't they?
Semi-sweet delicious or something like that.
Yeah, like this center one looks like it is a slightly different color than the one on the right. So I think they're different kinds of apples.
Okay. I might look at the leaf form. Oh yeah, look at the leaf form. It's so much different. This is a really pretty leaf form. And then this one here has a different leaf form.
We're trying to figure out
which apples do you have?
I don't remember the name of the apple trees, but they're dwarf apple trees that won't grow really huge like regular ones because our yard is small. So
yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, so we got 5 of those, and then we have the plum tree.
And then what was in? There was the golden currant, and then what's the one in between?
Nanking cherry.
It's a dwarf tree?
No, these aren't trees. These are bushes. This
oh,
is
bushes.
A Nanking cherry bush.
Cool.
So they'll probably grow a little bit more, but they're pretty much just a bush, and I kind of.
That's nice.
Yeah, I keep pruning them and stuff, so who knows if I let them grow wild how high they get.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to share one little thing as far as the tip. If you're pressed for time, because I am my husband's caretaker full-time because we're both retired and he is an amputated and very disabled person. And so it could get really full, and then cooking and cleaning and all the stuff that goes with every day. I'm saying that because as a tip, if you're pressed for time, like right now, what I am and stuff, This brick right here, if you notice, it's a little bit tilted like that because as an emergency, we were setting up the raised beds, and then we wanted to incorporate some brick. And since we were going to buy all this brick, I didn't want to create a pile because I'm trying to make it more organized. So I decided I'll just lay them down as a blueprint foundation without actually setting them in and leveling off the ground for now, while we take care of the other priority major things that are more priority. And then they're not stacked, but you can't tell really unless...
Right. I was just saying that I'm going to steal this idea because I thought it was beautiful.
Thanks to Mark, and we've just really been able to create this. It kind of manifested by itself, didn't it? Just constantly working together and flowing together, and it's like, what do you think about this? Oh, what do you think? And he's got brilliant ideas.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of unfolded naturally, and we actually did all the raised beds and everything within 2 weeks. It's not done like this right here. We'll have two more tiers there. But anyway, going back to this, I just wanted to share the tip. If you're in a hurry and you're pressed for time and you got other priorities and you don't want to create stacks, just set them up like a blueprint. And then later you could come in and you can level it off and set them in there and stuff.
That's a great idea.
Which is what I've done there. That's why they might like over here might look
it's a little tilted.
Not completely straight. And
Right.
it's because they're not set in yet and the ground leveled off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And underneath them.
Yeah, it's a good point. And yeah, I'm going to
stack
adopt
piles.
that whole little design there because I think it's really beautiful.
Marcus's idea.
The name, but just alternating the bricks so they're overlapping each other instead of stacked vertically. It makes it a lot stronger.
Oh,
Yeah, and it keeps them upright.
Yeah, and you only have to cut with like a masonry wedge. You only have to chip a couple of them to make half blocks. And then all the rest of them, you don't have to do anything, and it makes that really pretty pattern.
What he's referring to, when you get a brick, you use the chisel, carve it in lightly, engrave it all the way around, and then you just very lightly tap around it, and then it gets to a certain point, not even very deep, where it'll just do a clean break in half.
Yep.
Oh, that's a
What happened
good
here.
tip because I was going to ask about that. Okay, well, I just wanted to show you her gardens and what she's up to. And she's really, between them both, they've accomplished quite a bit in a short period of time, especially because, like she said, she's
I've got a lot more to do in the backyard.
constantly busy. I just got back from my sisters in Olmec. I want to show you a little bit about that. But today I wanted to give you a walkabout of how the yard looks like today. And I just think it just looks fantastic. Right now, my rose bush that has never bloomed since I moved it in its new position, and I'll point that out in a minute, has bloomed, so I want to show you that. My white blanket rose bush is now in full bloom. I wanted to show you that as well. And just kind of look around the yard and see what it looks like today. So I hope you enjoy this, and welcome. So as usual, I'm going to start in my driveway side just because that's where I start, right? But yeah, my hot lip salvia, look at how beautiful it looks now at this time of the year. And it's in bloom, so this is doing fantastic. My red valerian is in bloom, looking beautiful. My lilies over here are they getting their buds yet? No, they're not. But look at how giant. I mean, I want to step back, but they're so big that it's filled this whole spot. I mean, so much. My lily over here is coming up. All my other lilies are in the background. My stone crop orange cedium over here. Look at how tall it is. I mean, this is how tall it is. And is going to be in full bloom. Do you see all those buds? And it's going to just look fantastic with a bunch of yellow flowers. It's just going to look stunning. Let me turn around and look at it. This part of my garden. I'll give you a complete walkthrough, but look at that. Look at how huge this is. And this was in ice and snow, and look at how gorgeous. I'm telling you, this is a to-go plant for any yard because I will put the zoning down here because it escapes me right now, but this is a very hardy plant and definitely one for every yard. So keep that in mind because it's great for hanging baskets. It's great for stone walkway. It would look beautiful with boulder rocks, with that trailing in between boulder rocks. But yeah, that's gorgeous. Okay, let's go on this side. And I am doing a little different. But my allium silver beacon is blooming. And of course, my mom's over here is growing up. And my President Clematis is still has quite a few blooms. It's now going all the way up on the trellis. And it's just looking gorgeous. I mean, this is the longest blooming season that this President Clematis has done. And I just absolutely love it. Look at how large this heuchera is now. It's pretty darn big. And it was just tiny when I planted it there, or actually transplanted it. Then over here, look at how large my Brenneras are. I mean, they're so big that this just looks so full. But now that it has gotten this full, there's no spaces in between it. I mean, there is down by the root system. There's plenty of space in between plants, but you can't tell. But what's really nice about this is that my red valerian over here will now be supported by all these plants, which is, again, my daylilies, and then, of course, the two Brenneras. I've got a, what is this? But I don't know if you can see that, but this is my anemone. I really need to take her out because she gets kind of lost in this whole shuffle of plants. But, yeah. I mean, it's just like gorgeous. And I mean, it's even right up against the Japanese maple, which is stunning. And then, of course, the Kona grass, once it gets larger and starts cascading over, that's just going to be gorgeous. Here's my other hot lip Sylvia. Look at that. It's in bloom. Look at how gorgeous that is. This is another one that I highly, highly recommend. But yeah. My hens and chickens, this one will go with me as well as my rock. But oh my gosh, look how beautiful that is. This is definitely one of the plants that I will be planting in my new house. Along with a lot of these plants, I will be putting up some more Japanese maples because they're one of my favorites. And the Brenneras. I talk all the time about how fantastic they are, how every property should have them, as well as the Kona grass. And those are things that I will be planting again. As well as clematis, of course. So pretty much a lot of these things I will be planting again in my new yard. All the wild rose over here, I'll put the actual proper name for it because it always escapes me. But this is like a California wild rose. And it's just gorgeous. It's filling up and it's just going to be filled with beautiful pink flowers pretty soon. All of my lamium just looks stunning with all those pink flowers right against my spiderwort over here. The really interesting part about spiderworts is that the flowers will close up in the evening. They kind of go into a cocoon and then they rebloom in the morning. So every morning you will get blooms like this that open up, but in the evening they kind of go into their shell per se. My ruby slipper oak leaf hydrangea is now nice and large and has tons of blooms in it. And then, of course, my spot-ons are doing fantastic back there. I've got lilies that pretty much just kind of pollinated over there and are kind of choking out my sword fern over there in the corner. So it's looking a little lost. I might take that sword fern just because you don't even see it anymore over there. Of course, I'm going to take all of my yard stuff. So those will be gone, but the yard will still look beautiful. My rainbow fist spirea over here is starting to be in full bloom. So that's exciting. This is red in color. And it's just absolutely stunning. We'll be doing more rainbow fist spirea Sorry about shaking the camera. And then my Cherokee Brave, look at how beautiful and big it looks. Fantastic. My Snow Sickle hydrangea, one of my pride and joy oak leaf hydrangeas. I want to take that with me, but I would just destroy it if I did, so it's best to leave it, as well as this Japanese maple, because this one I'm going to try to take because it's been with me for many, 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 many years, but then again, I may just go ahead and leave it. I will be taking some of my stonecrop Pseudium because it's getting lost in the transition here now. But look at my white blanket rosebush. Remember on the last video or two, it was just had tons of buds? Well, look at it now. So now once it gets this flush of flowers, then I will just really give it a haircut down below and then have all the second flush or third flush of flowers up here on the top. This is an aster. I mentioned it on one of my videos and I couldn't remember the name, but it's a star aster or a calico aster. That one is more of a shrub. That one's going to go with me, but that one will get about 4 feet wide, 5 feet tall. So it's just temporarily in a pot because I didn't know what to do with it. It was beginning of the winter month, so I planted it there and it's doing fantastic. So obviously it's pretty hardy, winter hardy. Then of course my Miss Piggies, and then you see my fern. You can't even see it, but it's looking beautiful underneath there. On this side now, you can see my lavender. This is an English lavender, and it is doing fantastic and doing beautiful. The echinacea, I won't go through each individual one, but they're all doing really great. I probably will take 2 of them with me. This spiderwort on this side that I divided into 3s is doing fantastic. Lamium, look at how just gorgeous it looks. I will be dividing and taking part of my fuchsia here. Look at my boulevard clematis. Look at how, oh my gosh, this year it just really took off. Look at that gorgeous bloom. I mean, it's just everywhere. But what I wanted to point out, and I'm going to try to propagate this white blanket because it's a very old rose bush, but look at how gorgeous this is. Look at that. Isn't that just a very stunning color? That just that little bit of yellow within that white. I just absolutely, this is one of my favorite rose bushes. And it's a profuse bloomer. I mean, look at that. Just beautiful with just a hint of pink, and then it just turns white afterwards. But it just has kind of a variety of more yellows to peachy than white, and it's just gorgeous. I can't even back up enough for you guys to see how gorgeous that is. It's so big. My butterfly shrub over here is doing fantastic, looking really healthy. Looks like the rain got a little bit too much rain this year, because look at the leaves. This is what I'm talking about. When it either doesn't get enough water or gets too much, this is what happens. But it's not a big deal. This will happen. So if you get one and it's got yellow leaves, give it a little bit of fertilizer. But don't panic, because, you know, it'll be fine. But that's looking big and fantastic. I mean, God, this is like a forest of plants here. Let's see, all of my lilies over here, they just are looking fantastic. And then of course the Brenras are just starting to get out of their blooming cycle, but looks fantastic. When they're done, if you're new to Brenras and you want to know how to remove and make them just look really stunning over the summer months, all these blooms here, this things here, you just follow it all the way down to the base of it and then clip them off, and then you'll just be left with the large foliage, but then you'll get a second flush of flowers, so keep that in mind. But look at how gorgeous all of this red valerian looks. Isn't that just stunning? And the one thing I wanted to show you is this. This is my China rose, and this is the first year that it has ever bloomed. This is a climbing rose bush, and oh my gosh, it looks stunning. Good to see that it bloomed this year. So happy to see that. And then my Petalurus hydrangea over here, that one's filling out, gonna bloom. I don't see any buds yet at all, but it's going to bloom. Now you can clip this or hang it up and then it'll climb, you know. So it's very manageable. These are very forgiving plants, and they're a big, huge climber. Again, if you're new to my channel, this one here will get about 40 to 60 feet tall and wide. It's very slow growing, but once it takes off, it'll take off. So be patient and it'll look stunning. It'll climb up any cement structure, mason structure. You do have to train it if you're dealing with cyclone fence like I am, but because they do have like these little hairy tentacles to help support that. Otherwise, you got to train it, but it's still pretty stunning. If you guys have any questions on any of these plants, please feel free to put it down in the description below. This fern, I definitely need to clip it. As you can see, all of the old foliage, and then you can see the new foliage. So I will be clipping all of the old foliage. So if you're interested in that, I'll do it in a separate video, and then you can see how I'm doing it. Let's see, look at how gorgeous and big all of my hostas are now. From this point on, this was supposed to be my shade garden and my deep shade garden, but because my butterfly, it's now a shrub, it was a big huge tree, really cascaded over all these plants beautifully, and it made it really stunning and gave the proper amount of shade over here. But because it's no longer a tree, all these are more exposed to sun, and we'll see what happens going forward. I don't know if, I mean, I won't be here to give you a report on that, but from my experience, that one suffered from the lack of foliage being protecting it, you know, the coverage. So we'll see come summer how beat up these get for the new owners, but hopefully that the trees and everything around will still give it that sun protection that it needs. But look at how big my heuchera is. This is a cherry truffle. And this area, this is the little river bed that I created. I'm going to turn around so you can see it. But this is where I did with the gutter, my little river bed. And it's just been working fantastic. And it just looks really stunning. And then, of course, there's a lot of empty spaces for the new owner to create what they want to create here. But let me turn around, and now you can see how large this hostas are. Again, if you're new to my channel, I'm not sure of the variety of this one or the one behind me. But this one here is an Eden. They're all plantain lilies, and they're all fragrant plantain lilies. But this one's an Eden, and then that one over here is a guacamole. But these ones I planted when I first started working this yard. And look at how full that is. Oh my gosh, you can barely even walk through. It's looking like a jungle. So I will be kind of thinning it out so it's not overwhelming for the new owner. But yeah, I mean, consistent watering, that's what it takes. But, and I will be taking my whirlwind, this small one right here, because it's in a container and I'm taking my container. But it's still not going to affect the look of this because these are so huge that they're just going to cover that area anyway. Let's see, let me turn around. And then my Blue Angel hosta over here, that one there is going to get huge as well. And I just love that hue blue. Now, come summer, because this is now so exposed, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's got a little bit of a blue hue. Now, one thing to keep in mind, about hostas, especially blue angel hostas or anything that has that blue hue. If it's exposed to a lot of sunlight, it will fade that, and it will not come back. Now, it'll come back the following year when it comes back to life for the first time, but it'll fade out and just be a green color if you don't protect them from the harsh sun. In this case, it's underneath a big cherry tree. If this is a huge cherry tree up here, so that might be giving it some afternoon protection this year. And if it does, it'll be fantastic, but it will get a lot of morning sun exposure. That's why you see quite a bit of light on it. And if it continues over the summer months to do that, then it will fade it into just a plain green. So keep that in mind. Protect them. I can't remember the name of this plant. I thought it was a fungua. I'm going to be removing that one and taking it with me. It's really doesn't look like it's in the right placement anyway. And then, of course, here we are. Look at this. I don't know how well you can see this, but here's my what's left of my butterfly shrub right here. And yeah, it's just gonna bloom. It's gonna look beautiful. Then right here is, I'm gonna say it's a golden carpet spirea. This one has little pink, soft pink flowers, and it's beautiful. And this is very, very old. It's been in this yard for many, many, many years. I transplanted it over here many, many years ago, and it's fantastic. It's one of my favorites, and one I would also highly recommend. I'm going to go ahead and take you into the backyard just because everything is getting in bloom. I will be taking this whole container. This is a blackbird euphorbia, and then of course I've got right down here, I've got some oregano hoplite, as well as some creeping Charlie, which is really beautiful and cascading over. This is some more Hanacola grass, but it's just a spiral Kona grass. It's just a different variety. And then I have a delphine. Not a delphine, excuse me. It's a, I'll put the name down. The name escapes me, but that's doing fantastic. Look how beautiful that container is. I will be taking that though. But my star jasmine is going to be blooming here. And then of course I'm going to be taking this with me, and it's just some herbs and some mint, and just going to redo that container over here. Excuse the mess. Apparently my husband had a party over here at night when I was gone. My bleeding heart is done blooming, but the red valerian is taking off. And then I will be taking my lilac tree over here, and hopefully it survives the transplant because it is partially grown into the ground. But I'm going to dig around and take that with me. But that's doing really great. And then everything up here is doing fantastic. All the sedums are starting to bloom and look beautiful. Over here on this container here is nothing but strawberries right up here. And then look at the rose bush above it. Isn't that just gorgeous? It's stunning. Now you can see that my pergola is open. I went and I trimmed this, and now this is a rock rose, and look at, I'm getting my flowers, and it's so beautiful. Now these, on this rock rose, these flowers, they're so gorgeous. They're kind of like crepe paper, and they're gorgeous. But the wind, they're so delicate that the winds will just knock them off. But as soon as one gets knocked off, another one blooms. So it's plentiful, and this is just filled with buds. And then, of course, my pinnacle hydrangea that I grew from stems is doing great. My peony tree is doing fantastic. And then this is a summer, I think it's a summer breeze pinnacle hydrangea. That one is doing fantastic as well. And then over here, I don't mention this area, or haven't this year, but I think I mentioned that I put both of my Dahlia de Sols over here. Both of my Bishop Dahlias in containers. All these I'm going to take except for the 2 large ones. But I did grow some lettuce in here, and that's doing really, really well. And, oh, look at, I'm getting flowers. I'm getting flowers already. My chives are in bloom. And then this is something that I grew last fall, which is garlic, if you're not aware of it. So I will be harvesting that pretty soon. Not quite yet, but yeah, so excited about that. Let's see. Let me take you over on this direction. And then, of course, look at just how gorgeous. I'm going to take you around. Let me look at how gorgeous that looks. Still in bloom, my California lilac over here. This is a black lace elderberry, absolutely stunning. And then my Chihuly rose bush right over here. My lawn needs to be clipped. All of the yarrow is starting to bloom. Look at my Chihuly rose bush. Look at how gorgeous that looks. I do need to give it some iron and a little bit of, fertilizer, but it's doing really, really beautiful and stunning. I just love the colors, and this is super fragrant. I mean, look at, what's not to love about that? Look at, this is why it's called Chihuly, because every rose is just a little different from the other. Let's see, my hydrangea, this is a broomstruck hydrangea. This is a broomstruck hydrangea, and it's going to be pink. Now, hydrangeas, the one thing about endless summer broomstruck hydrangeas, it can have multicolored flowers, but if it doesn't have enough lime, then they'll just be kind of pinkish. It looks like the majority of them right now are looking pink for what's blooming, but look, it's filled with buds. Oh my gosh, this is the best it's ever looked. And then, of course, my Alyssa Splath over here is in bloom. I do have one bloom, but it's over looking at the neighbors, which is the Nellie Moser over here. All the houses are doing fantastic. I won't go over each individual one, but they're doing great. I will be taking my Komodo dragon over there, as well as my June hosta here and my blue ivory. Let's see, and then last but not least, my St. John's wort is coming back. It's I'm going to have to really clean up this old foliage and just let the new foliage shine, because some of my plants that have been with me for many, many years said, okay, you're out of here, I'm out of here. I'm going with you. So, yeah. Let's see. And then last, I will bring you out this direction, because I will put the video I did when I built these two. These are actually bottomless. And then what I did in each individual, so that they don't rot the post of the pergola, is that I went and did a very thick spray of water protection, so that it didn't deteriorate the inside of the lumber. I did a really good heavy water protection for that post as well, so they will not decay. Plus, as long as you're not watering the post, it's going to be fine anyway, but it's protected by plastic all the way down to the bottom. So if you build containers like this around a pergola post, just keep in mind that you do need to use the same type of water repellent spray that you would do on boats to keep the teak fresh and water safe. That's exactly the same kind of water protection I did on both of these containers inside and on the post. And then just for added protection, I put wrap the post in plastic. So that's what's going to continue to keep this protected. But yeah, that's it. I will be still fixing this little area up and just kind of giving a refresh, raking on the beds and stuff. But that's about all I'm going to do, because I am moving. I'm leaving this behind, but I still want it to look beautiful. So there you go. I'm gonna just give you a quick walkthrough and let you go. I'm barefooted and I'm in my pajamas. So yeah, I just came out to do this because the yard looks beautiful, and I just got back from my sister. Came out and looked at my plants and saw how gorgeous they were. So I decided to go ahead and give you another garden tour. So the one thing I forgot to mention is this plant right here is an orange trumpet, and it's filling out, looking gorgeous. In the summer, it's gonna look beautiful with those bright orange trumpets. And yeah, also real quick, this little plant right over here is a creeping thyme, and that's looking stunning. Love it on top of the chicken coop over here. Will I put a live plant roof on my new chicken coop? I don't know. That remains to be seen if and when I do that. But yeah, everything is just looking so full and gorgeous and amazing, and I just absolutely love it. The one thing about this, it's called a coral lace leaf maple. I'm gonna miss it. That tree cost me $300 when I first planted it. It was pretty large to begin with, not quite as large as it is now. I think it's gotten to its full height, which is 15, 16 feet tall. But in the fall, this is absolutely stunning. In the spring, it's absolutely stunning. And then it just turns green like this, but it still makes for a beautiful tree. And I'm gonna miss it. But anyway, yeah, this is what it is, you guys. I'm just gonna give you a quick walkabout. Please excuse my messy dining area. I am moving, so this is all in work in progress. And the last thing I didn't mention, my voodoo lily here. This one actually is going to be in bloom. Here, let me show you really quick. It's got 2 blooms. Look at how huge those blooms are. Look at that, it's got 2 blooms. Now, once it blooms, it's going to smell like a dead carcass, but it lasts for 1 day. And then it's done. And then the flower pretty much is done too. It's kind of like a daylily. Pops out, looks beautiful for a day or two. Not like a daylily, because daylilies only last a day. But this will last at least a couple of days or so. And it'll stink for 1 day, tremendous, awful. But after that, it's good to go. But yeah, love it, but not in the right place. I didn't plant it there, you guys. And then, do you see the pink roses up here? These are from the neighbor's yard, and now you can see them between this butterfly shrub that's going to have these beautiful, stunning flowers. Okay, you guys, thank you again for watching. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'm so happy to be here with you today. And most of all, if you served in any way for our country, happy Memorial Day weekend. And thank you so much for your service. It's so much appreciated, more than what you'll ever imagine. This right here is a wisteria, non-invasive.